Takeru Shiba's team and the Maskmen went their separate ways to find out what was going on. Just then, Kiros appeared as it was his job to stall upon any heroes who'd come. He faced Takeru Shiba and he was enamored by Mako's beauty. He was given an imprint by Akumuro of how Takeru Shiba looked like. Another Takeru to challenge. Let's see how great you really are. I am Thief Knight Kiros, said Kiros, drawing his short scythe and chain. Takeru Shiba's team quickly morphed, only to be hit by Kiros' crescent screw hurricane. I think I can handle this, said Shinken Pink. What's this? A woman dares to challenge me. I think she can be added to my collection, not because of her beauty, but her tenacity is amazing. That is a rare gem, said Kiros. Shinken Pink created a similar hurricane to Kiros, and both having a hurricane battle. So you're more gutsy than you look, girl, said Kiros, but you are losing. Not if I can help it, said Shinken Pink, who strengthened her resolve. In a big push, Shinken Pink drove Kiros' hurricane, and she used her fan to scar him. We'll meet again, said Kiros, retreating after being so exhausted from the duel. Meanwhile, in a cave outside Mount Ozeri, Barmbar and Igam were forced to put their rivalries aside. The Igam Dragon and the Royal Underground Sword had to work together. They had caught Cassie, who fell into the Super Sentai world an hour earlier. She was the Pink Turbo Ranger and later the Pink Space Ranger during the Zordon arc. The other hostage was Ashley, who was Cassie's best friend. Your despair is what can raise the waters high. We just need some despair, said Akumuro. You'll never get any satisfaction from us, said Cassie, who, with her determined, still built up. We are no ordinary women, said Ashley. My, what a determination. Your emotions will be enough to help us release Samurai Doubler. I wish I could have more, but your despair and anger is working wonders. Ho 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 ho, said Akumuro. I agree with that, said Bladeron. I would like to see how it would be like to let Godot be released earlier than expected. Now the United Alliance of Evil has an edge. United Alliance of Evil? Weren't they supposedly destroyed? Asked Ashley. We are the second incarnation, said Akumuro. The first one was destroyed, but this time the second incarnation is far stronger. Oh. Akumuro began groping Ashley in hopes of harnessing more negative emotions. Stop it, you pervert, said Ashley. Cassie and Ashley were in thought of how things were getting screwed up as they fell not only from the year 2005 to 2011, but also from her own world. They were just simply having another reunion, but they ended up missing. This will be it. Let your powers combine, and the powerful Samurai Doubler will show up and destroy the Maskmen once and for all, said Bladeron. We have no choice if we want to destroy the Maskmen, said Igam. Even if he fell into Godot, he would be useful. Igam and Baraba combined their powers inside the very cave of Mount Ozeri, which caused some water from the Sansu River to flow like crazy. At least the plan is working, said Flurious. You can deny your fright all you want, girls, but you two will serve our purpose pretty well, said Akumuro. The Maskmen ended up following Baramara and Igam to Mount Ozeri. Takeru Shiba was alerted of it, and they decided to use the Search Guard time train to get things done faster. Justin was simply amazed at the new technology he was facing. I'm afraid that he plans to release Godot in this era, said Takeru Shiba. Then we got to stop them as a double Takeru team, said Takeru. As they were approaching, Cassie and Ashley's screams can be heard. Cassie? Is that Cassie? Even if her voice is changed to Japanese like mine, I can still recognize her voice. Wait, there's another voice. That's Ashley too, said Carlos. Inside the cave, the monster Samurai Doubler finally emerged after several years of falling into Godot for a grudge he held so deeply against feudal samurais, the ancestors of the Shinkenkers. Akumuro said, Well, Samurai Doubler, we prematurely released you to help us crush the Maskmen as well, although your battle was with the Shinkenkers of feudal Japan. Oh yes, indeed. I would like to take a worthy mission myself, said Samurai Doubler, drawing his sword from his scabbard and putting it back. He was among the few underground monsters who can talk human, said Igam. But no matter, his skills are far more important to help us defeat the Maskmen. What are your orders, master, said one of the Nanshi to Akumuro. Throw both girls away down the cliff. We have no need for them anymore, said Akumuro. As the Nanshi were about to throw an exhausted Cassie and Ashley, they were rescued by Carlos Varlarti and Justin from meeting a certain death. Carlos, you too? Said Cassie and Ashley in surprise. That's right. Our world is getting topsy-turvy, if you ask me, said Carlos Varlati. But no time for that. We must send you two girls to safety so you can fight with us another day. Meanwhile, back at the cave, Flurious was now shocked that Bladeron hit him severely. It was a backlash against him. What is going on? Why are you turning against me? Said Flurious as he was hit by Bladeron. This is under the Emperor's orders, Snowball. You are dreaming if you think you are getting a promotion, you dumb snowman. He sent you to your death as it's been ordered. Besides, the foot soldiers can clean the restrooms better than you can. You do a lousy job all the time. You're not even an interesting character, said Bladeron. Bat fiends began to surround Flurious at the order of Bladeron. Now it's time for a Godot spell of sun blocking to allow the Godot to unleash full power here, said Akumuro. As Akumuro recited his mystic words, his spell was fastening Flurious down to the floor with rocks covering him from the waist down. You're going to die, Flurious. Anytime soon, your powers will be wasted, and so will your life force be wasted as well for the purpose of our mission here. Your first and last mission, said Bladeron. Now, powers of darkness, let Flurious' powers and life force be released, and let his power cover the sun. Ho ho ho, said Akumuro. Please, you can't leave me here. I'm your ally. Please, please, said Flurious, begging for his life, but he was ignored by his two comrades. Let's not kid ourselves. Aizuki wrote this assuming everyone reading this story hated every aspect of Operation Overdrive as much as he did. He wanted us to cheer as Flurious is tortured for sacrifice, suffering a long, painful death, and yes, he will die an ignoble death in the next chapter, but here's the problem. The scene isn't here because Flurious deserves it, it's because Aizuki hates the series he's come from. That's it, really. Flurious was included in this story for the sake of being embarrassed, abused, tormented, tortured, and finally killed, and it's not like he's portrayed like he is in Overdrive, so it doesn't even make sense as a means of bashing something he hates, because it isn't accurate to the intended target. At the mountainside, the Maskmen are frightened to death with the sun temperature drop. They were tending to a tired Cassie, who then placed in the Search Guard time train's teleportation so she can be taken into the future. The skies began to turn dark. This isn't good, not at all. I believe this is a dark omen of sorts, said Takeru, who was reminded of the Underground Kingdom's first attempt to freeze the surface world. Just as they were speaking, the samurai Doubler emerged at long last from his imprisoned body, ready to do havoc against their enemies. He appeared as a samurai-like underground monster dressed in a kimono. He had a sword similar to Uramasa. Now, Maskman, you will face the fury of Samurai Doubler, said Igam. What an underground monster that has fallen into Godot, said Takeru Shiba. The Maskman and Takeru Shiba's team did their transformation sequence to do an awesome battle at Mount Ozeri. However, the two Sakamatas had finally appeared as parts of Akumuro's plan and launched deadly fireballs at the Maskmen. The plan is working. Now it is time for me to capture Red Mask, said Bladeron. Red Mask was surrounded by Bladeron's bats and was taken away. The whole United Alliance of Evil retreated except for Flurious, who was being locked inside Mount Oseru. Takeru, shouted Momoko. Which Takeru are you talking to? Said Takeru Shiba. It's Red Mask, our teammate, said Momoko. Oh, it gets confusing with two people with the same names. Ouch. Good thing Mako's name is not the same as Momoko. Or we'd all get confused, said Mako. It's hard to be in a mission where there are two or more people named. In fact, we've got 3 Kais to think about, said Takeru Shiba. In the Sentai year 2011, Cassie and Ashley arrived safe and sound via the teleporter of time. Andros was glad to see his long-lost love, Ashley, but was sad to see her so weak. Ashley, are you alright? Asked Andros. I feel so weak, said Ashley. Much of my life force was drained releasing some powerful monster. It's alright, you're here. We'll treat you up, said Andros. Ashley, when we're better, we can fight by their side, said Cassie. That I promise you, said Ashley. Both girls then fainted from the stress of being emotionally tortured. We must bring them to the medical attention immediately, said Mikoto. She could die any time if we don't help her out. Cassie and Ashley immediately transported by the medics to the clinic. Just hold on, you two. You will make it, said Andros. Meanwhile, the Shinkengers got news that Gidoshu are being prematurely awakened. Sotoro Akashi got the news. So it looks like my help is needed. The only last true blood of the Shinba household, said Kaoru, who was ready to face her responsibilities. Princess, you can't go alone, said Genta. That is why I am taking Sotoro Akashi with me as my bodyguard. The rest of you stand by. I hope those 2 clowns haven't gotten stuff that should be returned to Takeru Shiba, said Kaoru. No, we must go, said Ryunosuke. Princess, reconsider your actions. You could be gambling away your life so recklessly. You need help. Very well then, if you insist. I will need all the help I can get. Thanks, guys. Back to the Maskman era. The team was already wondering where Takeru was. The only explanation I can offer is that your team's Takeru has been taken to the Sanzu River to be forcibly turned into Godot, said Takeru Shiba. How would you know these things, said Akira. I've been there once. I'm afraid he can turn Godot any time like I did before. It's a horrible thought just thinking about it because I've been through it once, said Takeru Shiba. Takeru Shiba, please don't mention it anymore, said Mako, begging him not to remind her of the awful incident where he turned to Godot they had in the events of Ghost Age vs. Shinkenger. I can't help but mention that, Besides, that's what I feel is happening right now. His mind is in constant torment, as I believe it to be, said Takeru. Then we must act quickly before that happens, said Commander Sugata. But as they were speaking, the downtown area was attacked by Samurai Doubler. The sky was clouded as planned. The other 4 masked men came to the downtown area. A huge wave of flame appeared before them. Kiros was assigned by Bladeron to lead the attack. Kiros, so you teamed up with those goons, did you? Said Kenta. I did, and now behold, your friend is under our control. The United Alliance of Evil will prevail, said Kiros. Samurai Doubler presented Takeru under Gedo's influence. The white portions of his uniform had become gray in color, signifying that he turned into an evil character against his will. No, this can't be. My nightmares are real that he's falling into Gedoshu and attacked us, said Momoko. Well, former friends, I am now known as Gedo Red Mask, said Takeru. He turned into Gedo Red Mask, surrounded by dark aura power. Not this again, said Takeru, who was reminded of his time as Gedo Shinken Red. You are no longer my friends. You are now my enemies. I am of Gedo now. You will all perish, said Gedo Red Mask. Takeru, remember who you are, said Momoko. I am not Takeru. I am Gedo Red Mask. I have been sent to kill all of you. All of you, said Gedo Red Mask as he drew his masky blade to kill them. The fight was going to get more intense as it should. As Gedo Red Mask approached the Maskmen, he gave them all a beating. He was no longer himself. This calls for drastic action, guys, said Shinken Red, who drew his sword to battle, ready to fight Gedo Red Mask, hoping to beat sense into him. Takeru, be careful not to kill him. He's still our ally in this battle, said Shinken Pink. I will take note of that, said Shinken Red, drawing his sword. You will fall, said Gedo Shinken Red. A violent battle is about to ensue. Will Red Mask be freed from Gedo, or will the United Alliance of Evil prevail? Stay tuned. And the portrayals of Takeru, Momoko, and Kiros are what happen when you have a selective memory about a show, as well as an obsession over a handful of characters despite forgetting what they actually like. Next week we'll wrap up Ghost Ager vs. Shinkenger Part 2, Masky Boogaloo, or Whaleway.